can take one person, make him angry, read out his anger, digitize it, put it on an antenna and address 100 people that are not angry.
Daar ben ik weer. En dit filmpje, this movie, is going to be in English because I have a lot of people who are from other countries. Because of the David Icke video, we all came together. So I decided to do the videos in English. This is a very important one because it's about the information that we are not receiving for, well, lots of years, decennia. So I'm going to show you about the chemtrails, about the nanotechnology who's in the chemtrails and are infecting our bodies. And I'm going to show you what David Icke is talking about, to be positive and how to be positive and how to do that and how to pray, and that they teach us it on the wrong way. So this is a very important video. I hope you make it until the end because this is really information everybody needs to get. This picture doesn't have anything to do with the information that I want to give you. The only thing I want to show with this picture is that they're saying there is a second wave of the coronavirus, but look at the people who died. Nobody's dying. There are more people dying, falling off steps or choking in a nut. So that's what I want to show, and it's everywhere around the world, not only in Holland, in every city in around the world. It's like this. It's one big major scam. Ties together. And this video shows how everything is tied together. This video is from Shaking My Head Productions.
Single color particles that she found in the air, also the color airborne, that then at a certain point is entering the mycelium after it replicated within the human body. Yeah, so this is coming to the concept of self-assembling nanobots. Self-assembly means you...
And let me tell you, he's talking about the chemtrails. This is the stuff that falls out of the chemtrails. And he's talking about this and how little color fibers come into your body and they find each other in your body. So it comes very small and then it finds each other and then you get the picture.
Spray the fiber, it is replicating, you spray the color. And within the human body, the color and the fiber is mounting to a working unit. This is what you call self-assembling nanobot. If you just take the chemical formulas of these colors, and if you look at this, you can find all the things connected to the Morgellons disease. You find like large area self-assembled plasmonic photonic crystals. If you go into this publication, you find these hexagonal forms. And if you look for the function, actually this is a thing that is collecting a radio signal and turning the radio frequency into DNA-readable light impulses within the body. So this is the reading unit. If you look down there, you have photonic crystal fibers. If you look what they do, it's normally they talk about carbon nanotubes filled with these colors, with these quantum dot chemistry. And the function is to collect light processed by the DNA and turn it into a readable signal. If you put the two together, this goes beyond the novel. You get a read-write unit. I can take one person, make him angry, read out his anger, digitize it, put it on an antenna and address 100 people that are not angry. And if they have this biology within their system, they will feel exactly the same experience of anger, like a tape recorder. Record the human experience, the overall human experience of a human, and you can tell by the colors what this includes.
Reading and transmitting light signals, electroluminescent light, which is what your body produces in every function. Every thought, every intention, every feeling. They have positive and negative energies, and they are harvesting that from you in order to control you. This is the plan.
Now listening to the guy explaining what the chemtrails are doing to us, then I understand David Icke a little bit more, because he talks about being positive. We have to be positive. And for me, that's a little bit like the law of attraction. And I always was wondering if the law of attraction is really what it should be, because I never heard of it, not on school, never, nowhere. But now they found the hidden teachings of the Bible, and they talk about the law of attraction. Maybe they call it otherwise, but it is the law of attraction. And this is so important for all of us to make the conscious decision to think and feel differently, to think and feel positively, because we want, if they harvest something of us, they're going to harvest positive thoughts and positive energy. And if they want to copy that, then copy that. And that's why they want to make you afraid, and they want to make you scared. That's why the big corona is all over in the news. That's why the 5G is implemented everywhere to harvest and to broadcast your emotions. Just want to scare you. And in every news program, you see the big coronavirus on the background. It's only there to scare you. It's only there to scare you. It's the only reason why they're showing that in their nice color-coded programs.
To unleash the force of the divine matrix in our lives, first, we have to understand how it works. And the science tells us how it works. Secondly, we must speak the language that the divine matrix recognizes, and science cannot tell us that. That comes from our past, from our culture, from our history, from those who have learned and used this language for thousands of years. So this is what we're doing right now. We're learning what did Jesus and what did the great masters say about this language. Because it's the same whether you're talking Buddhist or Hindu or Christian, pre-Christian traditions, they're all telling us that there is a field of energy and that we have the language to use that field. This is an actual page out of the Gospel of Thomas. So we know that this ancient gospel actually existed. And you can see some of the letters. These are Greek letters. You can actually read some of, if you know Greek, you can see some of the Greek letters right here. In the Gospel of Thomas, two very important keys. This was written right around 300 years after the time of Jesus. In this gospel, okay, so here's what we're doing. We've been in the Buddhist monasteries in Tibet, and they're telling us that that feeling is the prayer, one. Two, that we must feel as if our prayers have already been answered. Okay, and now we're in an Egyptian monastery with the texts that used to be our tradition before they were edited. And we're going to look at the instructions that tell us how to do that. Okay if we do that? Is that good? Okay. Gospel of Thomas. If you have a copy of the Gospel of Thomas, this is verse 106, translated from the Nag Hammadi Library. And if you do not have a copy, it's in our books, and you can go to any library and pick this up. Verse 106. Look at what the Lost Gospel of Thomas says. It says, when you make the two, thought and emotion, one. So the Gospel of Thomas is talking about thought and emotion. It's saying when you make your thought and your emotion one, look at what happens. You will say to the mountain, mountain, move away, and the mountain will move away. Saying that when you can marry your thought and your emotion into one single potent force, that is when you have the power to speak to the world. Secondly, when you make the two one, what are they talking about? What are the two? Let's go back to our image. The two, thought and emotion. when the two become one in our hearts, we create the feelings in our bodies. When thought and emotion become one, and you'll see how to do that in just a minute. Let's go back to the Gospel of Thomas, another verse. Now this is verse 48. It says almost the same thing. This was so important that it was recorded at least 3 different times in the same gospel. Look at what this says. If the two make peace with each other in this one house. When Jesus is talking about the house or the temple, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Precisely you. You are the house. You are the temple. If the two make peace with each other in this house, if thought and emotion become one, if they make peace with each other in this house, look what happens. They will say to the mountain, move away, and it will move away. He's telling us again, in a completely different verse, how powerful it is to marry thought and emotion. But they still haven't told us how. How do you do this? That's the next piece. In the early Christian Bible, your Bible today, there is a passage. How many have heard, ask and ye shall receive? Have you heard that before? Ask and you shall receive. Have you heard that? I know people that ask and ask and ask and nothing happens. Because the asking is not done with the voice. The asking is not done, please, please bring this to my world. That's not asking. To ask, we must speak to the field, to the divine matrix in the language that the field recognizes, and a language that's meaningful. The field doesn't recognize our voice, it recognizes the power of our heart. Remember this morning, our heart, we have a feeling, creates electrical waves, magnetic waves. That's the language the field recognizes. So when you create the feeling in your heart as if your prayer is already answered, that creates the electrical and the magnetic waves that bring that answer to you.
David Icke was also talking about the law of attraction, that you have to feel as if, that when we think, we are thinking the wrong way around. We're thinking like, oh my God, I don't want to be too late, instead of, oh, I'm gonna be on time. Or you mustn't forget, instead of you should remember this. So we're talking the wrong way around, and we're feeling the wrong way around, and we have to choose now deliberately, because the power is in our thought and in our feelings, in our emotions. And now we have to deliberately turn our thoughts to what we do want and not to what we don't want, because that's what we always do. We're thinking the wrong way around. We say we first want to see it and then we're going to believe it. But we have to act and feel as if we already see it, we already have it. And then when you don't even want it no more because you're feeling like you already have it, it will come. And you don't have to, if you look at the things you don't like, then you conjure feelings of things you don't like. So sometimes you have to look away. You have to make a conscious decision to look away from things you don't like. You look away and look at something you do like. And it can be something very simple, like petting your cat, smelling a flower, calling your girlfriend or your boyfriend. It can be so very small. And you have to do that. You have to make a conscious decision to stop looking at what you're looking at, what gives you negative feelings, and turn them to positive feelings. So it's also so with the whole coronavirus, they shouldn't make us angry. We have to stay positive and turn to what we do want. We want togetherness. We want to be safe. We want to be healthy. That's what we want. And we have to talk about that. And don't give our attention to the things we don't want. Because by giving the things we don't want our attention, we only get more of the same thing. So to get something else, we have to do something else. We have to discover and know that we have so much power, that there is so much power, but they didn't learn us how to unlock that power. And now we know, it was also in the Bible. It was written in the Thomas testimonials, of, how do you call them? The Thomas scrolls, or the Thomas. It was written there. 300 years after Jesus died, they written down that you have to feel as if. You have to put your thoughts and your emotions on one line. You have to deliberately feel, think and feel, and it has to feel good. If it doesn't feel good, you should not think it. And you can choose to think something else. And to do that, to make the choice to feel a little bit better, if somebody asks you, how's your day today? You answer, thank you, a little bit better than yesterday, instead of, oh, this is bad, this is bad. Because that gives you more of the same thing. And because our great awakening is a spiritual awakening, an awakening where we have to manage and control our thoughts so they cannot harvest the negativity of our thoughts and broadcast them to all of them. Because we are all infected. We are all infected with the chemtrail nanobots. We're all infected. Because if I look at the TV, I always look at the sky too. I always look at the sky. And in the corona time, the lockdown time, I saw so many cities like Amsterdam where they were chemtrailing while everybody was at home. And the last 4 years, I saw so much chemtrailing and nobody was looking. Everybody was on the subway with their phone looking down. But now it's time to be positive and look at the things that are going well. And it can be a small thing. And if you close the television and put on a little music, you will feel better in an instant. So this is the message I want to give. And this is hopefully contribute by feeling more positive. And one more thing I want to add to this. That if you have a day you're like, I don't feeling it, just take your pen and your paper and make a list from A to Z, and make and write positive feeling words. And if you do that, you will raise your vibration. You will get positive because you are deliberately changing your thoughts to something positive. So that is the message I want to give, and I really hope you're all going to do it. Be positive, be optimistic, choose your words deliberately, think about what you say, and think about what you want, and focus only on what you want. That is it. Bye-bye.